I know we're all rugged individualists, right? Conservative, libertarian, nationalist, whatever you consider yourself, but you're on your own, right? That's naive. You need people around you. We all need people around us. Some of the toughest guys I know, Green Berets, you ask them, how do you survive this? How do you survive that? Well, get people around you. Well, you need friends. You need a team. You need people around you, but more than just neighbors, you need some form of state power to protect you. You do. You need some form of state power to protect you. You can't live and let live your way out of a tyrannical government. A red area, a red state, and preferably a red city and county to go with it, that's your protection. Do you have any idea what it's like in places like New York City right now, Los Angeles, Philadelphia, these super, super blue areas where people are just being slaughtered every single day, Soros-funded DAs, laws turning criminals loose, anti-cops. I've watched the city I love, New York City, descend into a hellhole I won't visit anymore. That's what it's like there. Places like Florida are going the opposite way. Governors like Heavy D, they're very, very interested in making sure that doesn't happen in places like Florida. You see, if you're a Florida resident watching me right now, you can be safe in the knowledge you have a level of state power interested in protecting you. Here's Heavy D canning a George Soros-funded state attorney.
The Constitution of Florida has vested the veto power in the governor, not in individual state attorneys. And so when you flagrantly violate your oath of office, when you make yourself above the law, you have violated your duty, you have neglected your duty, and you are displaying a lack of competence to be able to perform those duties. And so today we are suspending State Attorney Andrew Warren, effective immediately.
Not only Soros-funded guy, you remember that story of the Florida pastor who got arrested for having church during the COVID insanity? That was Andrew Warren. This is a man who said, hey, I'm not enforcing any of these abortion bans. This is a man who's very, very pro-trans kids. Again, George Soros stuff. But again, we've complained all the time. Why won't America do something about Soros? Why would America allow this? Why would America allow that? Why hasn't America banned him? Heavy D out there once again laying out the blueprint for exactly how that's done. And by the way, when he did it, he brought the receipts.
Judicial Circuit, Andrew Warren has put himself publicly above the law. In June of 2021, he signed a letter saying that he would not enforce any prohibitions on sex change operations for minors. And that's a debate that we're having mostly administratively and through medical licensing in Florida, but other states have enacted penalties on the people that would perform those, which are really disfiguring these young kids. And he said, it doesn't matter what the legislature does in the state of Florida, he's going to exercise a veto over that. And then most recently, after the Dobbs decision was rendered by the U.S. Supreme Court, he signed a letter saying he would not enforce any laws relating to protecting the right to life in the state of Florida. And that is what the legislature has enacted. It's not for him to put himself above that and say that he is not going to enforce the law.
That's how it's done. Look, that's your level of protection. It doesn't have to be Florida. There are other great red states, but get your family out of these blue hellholes where you are now naked. You don't have any protection at all. In fact, forget about no protection. They'll actively destroy you for what you believe. Get out. But wait, there's more. You don't think the whole lock down the state and impose a tyranny because of a disease, you don't think those days are gone, right? You don't think the whole COVID stuff was the last time they're going to try that? The tyrants loved COVID. They loved telling you weren't essential, close your business. They loved attacking their small business political opponents. Florida seems to be doing just fine. Over 632,000 new business applications in Florida in 2021. New York, New York with more people, half that. You see, people are packing up. They are leaving, and you should too. Not because of what has happened, but because of still what's to come. You are dealing with, how many times have we talked about it? You're dealing with a very, very aggressive federal Bureau of Investigation. The federal DOJ is after you. They will destroy you for what you believe. You have these blue states that will destroy you for what you believe. These blue cities that will destroy you for what you believe. You need some level of state protection for you and your family. Get out and move to a red state. Heavy D was bragging about the COVID success. I appreciated this.
They would shame people for even leaving their house in April, May 2020, and you can't do it. And some people wanted to bury loved ones. They wanted to do this. And the argument people were making is, well, wait a minute, I can look at the risk of COVID, and it's something that I'm willing to accept because these things mean more to me, to be able to bury a loved one or to be able to do things with my family. And the public health establishment, oh, no, you can't make that kind of cost-benefit analysis. Then, when the George Floyd riots were happening, they actually wrote a letter with thousands of these people signing it saying, we do not believe that rioting and protesting is bad for COVID, that you can do it, go ahead, because we think it's so important that you have to do it. And then they said, but this doesn't mean we support all protests. If you're protesting lockdown policies or other things, then you can't do that. And that's when I knew these people are a bunch of frauds. I mean, how ridiculous.
That's how it's done. Man, GOP governors, just do whatever Heavy D is doing.
Don't miss Jesse Kelly Breaks History, Che Guevara, the latest episode of a new series available now exclusively for First TV supporters. Visit the First TV app or thefirsttv.com to subscribe and start watching today.